Hey, what is up, everyone? This is Noan El Boricua, and I want to say thank you. I'm actually going to try this. So for those that are listening or for those that are watching, I'm actually going to upload this as a video podcast. And as I am getting ready to prepare the next season and really the first one of the year for 2022, there's a lot of things that we always hear in the beginning of a new year. And I want you guys to kind of like walk with me, right? I remember when I learned how to swim, and I was so excited. My abuelita, was making sure that we were there on time. And I remember that once I learned the basics, then it went on to the next steps, the intermediate, as they say. And it was a little harder. There was more technique to the whole process. But what's interesting is that as I got closer to that moment of really feeling confident to go swimming, it wasn't until I had to step up to the springboard or the board. So for those of you guys that know what I'm talking about, like, you go to the swimming pool, or maybe you have a pool, I don't have a pool, and you get to jump on the swimming board. I hope that exactly is what it is called. And you get on there, and of course, hence the word spring, there's a little movement, there's a little bit of an anxiety, but the beauty of it is that your hope is to be able to jump off. Now, I'm not here to discuss of like having a perfect, dive into the pool. I'm just saying the courage and really the intentional purpose to be able to get on there and jump off. And for those that know, I grew up here in South Bay, California, specifically in Hawthorne, California. And at Hawthorne High School, they actually have a Hawthorne pool. And they actually, from the last time, which this was a few decades ago, they have 3 different boards. They have the low, then they have like the high, and then they have what's called the platform. And the platform is where 2 or 3 people can run and jump off. Again, I don't know if that's still the thing now, but I remember when I was growing up as a young person, that was something I had a chance. And I tell you that story because even though I knew the basics, even though I knew a little more than the basic intermediate of a swimmer, the technique of being able to get on this board and to jump and to land into the water was a little nerve-wracking. And my hope is that we understand that I share that story to tell you that purpose is really the springboard when it comes to fulfillment. It's in the same way of the necessity that I wrote here that precipitates many inventions, that the purpose inside of you and me should facilitate the desire to do something. So for me, when I think of this springboard of getting ready to dive in, my hope is that it shows me to really understand, this is going to propel me to get where I need to get to. So I think a lot of us, we get led to be able to do something. Maybe there's an invention that we need. And this is where I kind of go now from like the low to the high and then the platform. It's in the platform of jumping off with a friend or a loved one that one, there's joy. One may be more nervous than the other, but one may be encouraging one even more to get creative. And I think for me, we think about that. The reason that our purpose is so important is because it often allows us to see something in society in a way that very few people can probably see it. So what's something that you've seen already that you feel that you can invent or better or sharpen in this new year? And my hope is that you can find that purpose. Because here's the thing. When I think about cultura, faith, and conexiones, I think about purpose. I think about what gets me excited to get out of bed. Look, this is my pensamiento en el momento. And I've always heard, and many of us know, they say that there's no time like the present, which is great. It should be the motivation to be able to accomplish our goals and to be done in a certain way and in a certain order. But I'm going to read this as motivation doesn't mean just to get it done. It means to plan well so it's done correctly. So there's always this this tendency of us wanting to get something done. And if we see there's an issue, we invent, but we don't understand that what was the original context of that first invention. And here's the thing, the only way you know is by really taking it by the reins and owning it and actually be intentional with what you're trying to invent in this year. that came to my mind. I'm clearly here taking a quick break from my work. For many of you guys know, we all working remote, or maybe you are working in an office or, you know, on site. And a lot of times we get challenged. And I think for me, to be able to share this with you guys as you're listening and you're watching, is something that I hope we understand, that look, life, you know, can hit us and we can lose sight of our purpose. We can lose sight of why we were motivated in the first place. So my hope is that you understand, like, yo, you got purpose. So here are my questions in this pensamiento. What are some thoughts that are compelling you to take action, even if you've been slow to do so? Look, I get it. It happens. We slow down, or we hesitate, or something of that nature. But I think for me, I'm gonna close with this, yo, and I'm gonna take this here. And this is the author, Leo Buscaglia, said, quote, "Your talent is God's gift to you. What you do with your gift is the gift back to God." So, hey, maybe you're taking a break. Sometimes you have to like reset. And yeah, we should. And today was one of those days for me. I was saying, man, God, like, am I really doing my purpose? Am I staying and owning what it is to take the reins of whatever invention or whatever I'm trying to sharpen? And that leaks in all areas of our life. So if that's you, I would love to know what you're trying to do to sharpen your goal, and how are you taking the reins to be able to own this. And more importantly, what is your gift that you're really honing and owning to really, really give back to society, give back to your workplace, give back to your family, whatever that looks like. Ese es mi pensamiento en el momento, y espero que sea de bendición. And like always, remember, always be immersed in la cultura. Remember to always strengthen your faith. And remember to always continue to make those connections, aka conexiones. Y como dice mi abuelita, y como la música que está tocando, que Dios te bendiga.